What is a quick and easy energizer that doesn't need any equipment, I hear you say? Watch all the way through to the end of this video and I promise that you will learn a brand new energizer that is fast-paced, requires no equipment, and I promise will trigger bursts of laughter and lots of energy instantly. You know those times you're working with a group and you just need to fill 30 seconds, 60 seconds with something productive? And what you really want is to wake up the brains of your group, to engage them, to have them sit up and, face forward. Well, I've got exactly the thing for you. And if you work your way all the way through this video, you're also going to come away with a couple of really valuable, let's call them variations of this activity that I have found the most useful when I'm working in a team context. I learned this activity, space counting, from my most favorite mentor, Carl Ronke. The way he described it has been adapted over the years as I've used it with hundreds of groups with great success. As I said, you don't need any equipment and it provides instant engagement. Your first step is to simply invite everyone to turn or to go find a partner. Even better if they perhaps are interacting with someone they don't know. In any case, I would often at this point ask for a volunteer. Now, clearly I'm the only person in this space right now, so you'll just need to imagine that I'm standing in front of somebody. And then I instruct my volunteer to use their pointer finger, their index finger, and imagine the space in front of them is going to be a bit like a whiteboard or a blackboard, and they are going to write the numbers 1, 2, 3, all the way through to 30. So 1 and then 2 and then 3, but you get the idea. But we're doing this at the same time. So on go, however you choose to be able to start the game, the object is for each of the two people in the pair to be able to race all the way through the numbers as fast as possible. Now, it's not going to be quite as fun as it ordinarily would be because I would often be standing opposite my partner. But you get this sense. Let's imagine now I was playing as if I was standing in front of my partner. So you get a quick sense of what this looks like. And go. All right, I got to 30, but did I get there before my partner? So it's a highly competitive activity. Now, you could do it in groups larger than 2, but it works really well with 2 because you're facing one other person and you're really focused on that person. And what I'd often say is, if you happen to get to 30, once you get there, just punch the air with your fist to indicate to your partner that you've got there. And of course, if you've punched the air first, that means you've won, whatever that might mean. Now, that has literally taken 30 seconds, 60 seconds max to be able to explain and play that activity, and you've woken up your group. Now, at this point, I've got more to share with you, but if you like the concept of this activity, first of all, go ahead and just hit the like button. The more likes I get, the more I'm going to present activities of this nature through my YouTube channel. So if you like it, hit the like button. All right, let's go to variation number 1. That very first version, the generic version, is very competitive, okay? One person wins, the other person doesn't win. However, let's now flip the script and now work it in a collaborative format. On this occasion, one of you is only going to go to say 10 or 12 or 15. You don't have to go too far, not to 30, it will take too long, but to a smaller number. And you're going to write the numbers as you were doing before, but without pace, because your partner, if they take this turn first, is going to trace the identical path of your finger, the person drawing the numbers. So I'm going to draw the numbers as they appear to me, and in effect, my partner is going to be tracing my fingers backwards. Now, I don't share it that way. I just simply ask them to trace the identical path of my finger. So I don't want them to think of it as doing it backwards because that's actually not useful. The only way you know if you're in fact winning or doing this successfully is if you are as accurately as possible tracing the path of your partner. Again, you'll just have to imagine that I've got a partner in front of me, but as I'm doing it, I will show my particular expressive way of the way that I write numbers, which may or may not be the same way that my partner does it. Because here's what happens. I've just done number 2 and they know the next number is number 3. However, I start from a different position, or maybe it's number 5 or number 8. They're numbers that often people start in different positions before they write the numbers. So at the end of that first variation, the more collaborative form, I'm going to ask a question about, for example, what did you notice? What did you notice? What were the more difficult numbers to draw or to trace? Anything else you noticed about working with your partner? And naturally, once they've had a chance of doing it once, maybe up to the first 10 numbers, swap sides. Now, if I was the one that drew the numbers, now it's my time to trace the numbers. Really powerful variation of this activity called space counting. So to this point, we've done the competitive version, we've also had the collaborative version, and then I start to notice that when I've quickly reflected with my group, that we start to anticipate. That is, we know that we're about to go to number 8, and the person who is doing it does it in like the infinite format, but maybe the other person normally does an 8 with 2 circles, one sitting on top of the other. Very, very different. But they know that no matter how much they mess it up, the next number is going to be number 9. So now, because we've got this level of anticipation that might actually assist the success of the activity, the next variation is that we now say, pick any 5, 6, or 7 numbers to draw that anywhere between 1 and 30. That is, they could start at number 17, go back to 3, up to 25, 26, do number 13, you get the idea. So now we've eliminated anticipation. And you'll notice at this point, again, it's a question I might ask my group in the reflection. What did you notice this time? What you will notice as a facilitator is the extraordinary levels of concentration that have just ramped up because people really need to watch their partner now. Remember, the objective of the tracer is not to do the number backwards, but to trace exactly the identical path of their partner. Now, ordinarily, fingers should not be touching, so it's like a space between those 2 points for the benefit of, otherwise, there's no challenge there. The person just simply touches the finger of their partner. Okay, did you like that activity? Again, it's called space counting. And if you go to playmeo.com and punch in the word space counting, it'll take you directly to the free step-by-step instructions for that activity and 530 other fun group games and activities, icebreakers, energizers, trust building activities, and team building activities, all completely free. The instructions ready for you to use right now. And as always, if you enjoyed this, go ahead and like the video if you haven't already done that. And if you really like this sort of content, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You'll find all the details down below. And you can also hit the bell, the notification button. And that means that YouTube, if this is not familiar to you, will let you know when we drop a new piece of content, which on average is about once a week. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you've taken away a brand new Energizer that you can use pretty much immediately. You could turn off this video and go straight in front of a group and give it a go. It's that simple. Again, thank you so much for watching. All the best out there.